Let's see, which world should we do the second visit next? Guess we'll do Port Royal first. Yeah, I'm just going back to a new Kingdom Hearts 2 stream. And if I missed the last one, definitely go and check it out. Yeah, we are continuing the second visits. Continuing the second visits. We did at least the first. We did all of the other first visits, I would say, and of course did all of Hollow Bastion. Well, at least all the way to the 1000 Heartless. And then of course we did the second visit of the Land of Dragons of Mulan. So we are now, again, just because, I don't really like the second visit to the Caribbean, we're going to go ahead and get this one out of the way first. How's everybody, though? Hopefully everybody is doing well. Again, don't really like the second visit of the Caribbean just because of the boss. The boss that is in the second visit. I just don't like the Grim Reaper Heartless that is in this world. Especially the second fight with it. The whole second fight with the whole chest. I especially don't like. Most especially don't like the second visit. Like this one right here. This Grim Reaper Heartless right here, it's fine. I don't mind it. This whole Grim Reaper boss Heartless, I don't mind. It's the whole second one, though. At the end of the second visit. That's the one that I don't like. That is the one that I just do not like. When, where you have to collect all the medallions, put it in the chest, so you can be able to actually hit and damage the Grim Reaper Heartless. That's just the annoying part. What I just don't like about on this visit. And of course, I'm not a big fan of the whole second visit of the base castle because, Zoldan. Just because of the whole Zoldan fight, how he can be very annoying. He can be so annoying. So yeah, definitely just don't like the second visit on there. Probably one of my least favorite of the two of the Disney World visits that I just do not like. I would probably say just not a big fan of. Just not a big fan of the whole of those two. I mean, I do like the second visits. Again, like I mentioned, got Peter Pan summon. But yeah, I just don't like those two visits, at least. I'm just not a big fan of. Just not a big fan of it. I also watched the Karate Kid Legends, it's called. Karate Kid Legends. I have watched. And I am gonna go back and watch the other ones for sure. Because I don't ever recall watching any of the other movies. So yeah. Definitely gonna have to go back and watch them. Most definitely. I'm gonna go back eventually and watch those. At least the first one. At least the original first one. At least. I'll go and I am planning on going and watching at least the first one. Oh, at least watch. I'm not too sure about the other ones, but at least the first one, I most certainly will go Watch. We'll see, though. I guess I'll give... No, not that. Nope, not that either. Donald that. I guess I'll give him that. That staff, I guess. Just gonna ignore those. Yeah, I'm doing good. Hopefully everybody else is as well. Hopefully they didn't pick... Okay, they didn't pick up the medallion. I was kind of hoping. I hope they don't pick up the medallion, but they didn't, thankfully. Thankfully they didn't. I was kind of hoping, like, please don't pick up the medallion. And also the thing is, too, you're going to have to make sure you get, or you have, plenty of ethers. Especially. Elixirs, ethers, stuff like that. You're going to have to definitely make sure you have. I mean, I just don't like to use ethers when it comes to simple things like this. I like to try to save ethers, or elixirs, and megalixirs for bigger battles, like actual bigger boss fights and stuff. I like to save. I like to save for. Like the Lingering Will, or Sephiroth. Right, Sephiroth, for example. Look at that, managed to get that one. That one can be pretty tricky, though, to get. I'm not gonna lie, that one can be pretty tricky to get. But now we have the awful fight with the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper Heartless. Again, this fight I am just not a fan of. I am just, honestly, just not a fan of. It sucks. Probably one of my least favorite fights of the series. As well. One of my least favorite fights. Just how it plays, though. Really, just how it plays, I just don't really like about it. Again, you have to make sure you have all 882 pieces of the doubloons inside. I don't know why I did that. I meant to do Blizzard. You know what? I probably should have put on some certain abilities for Jack. Because I don't think I have any abilities that I wish I would have in there. That I wish I would probably have put. Because I'm not sure if they're equipped for Jack. At least I don't think I have them equipped for Jack. And I definitely feel like Thunder definitely helps. Putting Thunder. Alright. Again, we got this. I believe in us. I know y'all believe in me too. So. Again, it's just definitely time consuming that this fight is. Most definitely time consuming. And especially when he gets all of the medallions, though. That's where it really sucks. Like, yeah, he just gets all of the medallions. Like, he just grabs all of the medallions. Yeah, Jack, there is an ability where Jack would normally have where he could just throw bombs, and it was set like the Heartless on fire. But I don't think I have that ability equipped for Jack. Again, I probably should have done it before. I probably should have equipped that before going into this fight. I most probably should have. I'm probably... which, we don't have much of the fight left, I would say. But I probably still, again, feel like, yeah, I'm gonna regret that. Again, it just especially helps when you have that equipped for Jack. Most definitely. Again, this guy just has so much of the doubloons left, though. Like, it's ridiculous how much of the doubloons he has. Like, dude. Dude, you do not need this much of the doubloons here. You know that, right? Like, you just do not need this many doubloons. Alright, I've used 2 of my elixirs. Or, not elixirs, ethers. I used the 2 ethers that I have. I had the 2 ethers. I used the 2 ethers that left that I had. Alright, we're on the last bar. Let's go. We got this. This guy better not steal more doubloons. Or medallions, whatever. There we go. Managed to get an upgrade to magnet as well. Definitely probably glad that I managed to go ahead and get that one out of the way. Right, to get that visit out of the way. It's definitely one of my least favorites. Definitely one of my least favorite visits in the game. I would definitely say. Definitely one of my least favorite of the visits. And before we go to Base Castle, we'll go ahead and do Halloween Town. Go ahead and do Halloween Town on the second visit. I mean, we do get one of the greater Keyblades as well in this visit. You know, the whole pumpkin Keyblade we do get too, so... Now we have to fight yet again Lock, Shock, and Barrel, which is quite interesting how we have 2 fights in both visits that have Lock, Shock, and Barrel involved. And this time, of course, it's not in the Heartless. This one sort of feels a lot more like on the first game, because, you know, they're just going all around. So this one definitely feels more like the first game. Most definitely feels like a lot more than the first game. Okay, that one's taken out. Just one to go. Again, these still annoying though. Lock, Stock, and Barrel are still very annoying. I can definitely say that all the way. They definitely are aggravating. Can we get this one before he... There we go. Yep. I was going to say, can we get him before he gets unconscious? But yes, we were. We were able to. I mean, I can definitely say the experiment, or Dr. Finkelstein's experiment, is not as annoying as, or not the worst, way, definitely not as bad as the whole Grim Reaper Heartless, I would say. At least to me. At least I find it not as bad. Yeah, at least not to me. Level 37. Okay, I'm just gonna leave those Jack-in-the-Box Heartless. They're already annoying as they are, so I'm not gonna even bother. Not even gonna bother with them. You're already enough trouble as they are, so I'm just not gonna worry about those Jack-in-the-Box Heartless. Just not gonna worry about them. Just gonna just move on. Just pass on through. Right? We're just gonna pass on through. Just pass on through. Everything will be alright. And thankfully you can do, here's another thing. It is quite interesting and really pretty good as well that you can do any of these visits, like in any order. Like you don't have to do it in a certain order, right? You don't have to do these visits in a certain order. So you can go to whichever of the Disney Worlds to do the second visits in any order that you want. At least the ones that are open to you, of course. The ones that are open to you at least. That you can do before going to the other ones. Yeah, if we could just take out those two, that'd be really great. The other present's right there. Good. Did not take us that long to do. And I did not need to use that. That's right, we gotta do the presents. Gotta make the presents. Gotta make the presents. We gotta make the Christmas presents. Just still hard to think that, I mean, just of how, before you know it, we're gonna be in that time of, in that holiday, right? Before you know it. And before you know it, we're gonna be in Thanksgiving as well. Like, 2025 has surely gone somewhere else for sure. Like, I just cannot say of just how quick, how fast this year has felt. For real. Doesn't it seem like it just drove by, went by so quick? Because before you know it, we are going to be in that holiday. When it comes to Christmas and Thanksgiving, especially. Halloween, I'm not really like into as much now. Like, don't really care for as much as I used to. Like when it comes to getting Halloween candy and stuff. I mean, I don't ever really eat all my Halloween candy anyway. Right? I don't ever really eat all my Halloween candy that much anyway. And it just all goes to waste as well. Doesn't matter how much that is left. I still have loads of candy normally. So, yeah, I'm definitely fine with not having any, or not dressing up or anything. And really, there's hardly anything I would dress up as anyway, too. So, yeah, Halloween is probably up there with Valentine's Day. How I don't really care much for. I mean, I only got to properly celebrate Valentine's Day 1 year. That was one time, and it was actually on Valentine's Day when I had a girlfriend, but that was in 2021, and don't like to really think about those time, or that time, I would say. But yeah, that was just one time only thing. So Halloween is basically becoming kind of like, I would say, kind of like Valentine's Day, where I don't really care much for it. I mean, Halloween, I could still celebrate it, obviously, but I just don't really want to, really. And really, there's no point for me to really celebrate Valentine's Day. So, yeah, Valentine's Day is really up there on my not really so much to care about holiday, since there's really no point on properly celebrating it as many people would actually. But there we go. Second visit of Halloween Town completed. Definitely, think it was definitely good that we went ahead and gotten Halloween Town out of the way. I think it was definitely for the best that I gotten Halloween Town out of the way. Gonna put that there. And anything for Goofy? Auto chance? Nah. Alright, based. Yeah, St. Patrick's Day. I don't do a whole lot for St. Patrick's Day. I mean, yeah, I guess you would say that or your eye color doesn't count, because if it did, if eye colors count, then I wouldn't have to be pinched every year, because I have I have green eyes. Yeah, my eyes are green. So if eye color even counted, then I wouldn't get pinched at all. Like, I wouldn't have to wear anything. But of course, eye colors I wouldn't think count for something like St. Patrick's Day. Obviously Easter I celebrate, of course. Not for the candy or anything, right? Not for the candy or anything. Definitely not. 'Cause I know the real true part of Easter. And, of course, the same thing goes for Christmas, too. 4th of July I also celebrate. I like celebrating, too. Watching the fireworks. Definitely love watching the fireworks. Yeah, I know I just got that Keyblade, but I just got a better Keyblade here, so, or I just got a better Keyblade from Halloween Town, so, yeah, I'm not going to use that one that we just got. That Divine Rose Keyblade, I'm not going to use. But I just got a much better Keyblade here, or, you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Hopefully this will make the Zolden fight a bit more better. I hope. Yeah, I did level limit a little, like I think maybe one level, and I also did the same thing for wisdom as well. Alright, let's get it over with. Probably one of my least favorite fights. Zolden. I mean, it's better to go ahead and get it over with than saving it for later, because if I saved it for later, I'm going to have to do it eventually. Right? Right? I would have to do it eventually either way. If I saved it for later, I would have to do it eventually either way. So, might as well go ahead and do it. Right? Go ahead and do it. Get it out of the way. And either way, he is kind of aggravating to figure out exactly how you're able to hit him, too. Especially with that wind sealed that's around him, too. That could be annoying. I'm so surprised that Goofy did not die, at least, when Zolden came down. And Base did as well. I'm surprised. Use all of these. Again, yeah, this is going very well. Since I have this Keyblade here, I think I waited the right time, because, look, we're already on the last health bar. We're already on the last health bar for the boss. So I think I waited the right time. Could we? Yep, we just did it. We actually had a Zolden fight with no DM. Yep, he didn't do his desperation move like he would normally do. Wow, I cannot believe that. We actually had an actual Zolden fight with no DM. That is an absolute miracle. Like, I just cannot believe that. We actually had a really good Zolden fight with no desperation move. Yeah, that's probably one of my best fights yet with Zolden. I would most definitely say. Again, that just went very, very clean. Nope, wrong thing. That just went so well. I just can't get over how well that fight actually went. One of the best by far. Definitely. Definitely the best by far. I wish I could have said the same thing for the Grim Reaper fight, though. Right? I wish I could say the same thing with the Grim Reaper Heartless. But yeah, I'll definitely take that with Zolden. Definitely. 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 Alright, you Heartless. And yeah, this is definitely a visit that I love. I definitely love this visit when it comes to Olympus. Really do enjoy this visit. And before we go to um Orin, I just want to do that just so I would have the drive gauge at max again. Just so we would, not lose any of the drive meter. I'll just take the skateboard there. Seeing how long I can actually stay. We actually stayed in the air quite a good time. I would definitely say we kind of stayed there for a pretty good time. Definitely a pretty good time. We actually stayed there. Stayed in the air. Wouldn't y'all say so? Alright, you nobodies. Level 38. I especially love the whole fight with Hades, though. I always love fighting Hades. Definitely another one of my favorite villains as well. Or, obviously one of my favorite villains, but also favorite fights. I just love the voice of Hades as well. I think that's what just really fits his character. James Woods' voice of Hades. Definitely what makes it really, really iconic, wouldn't y'all say? I don't think his character would be as great, of course, right? I wouldn't think his character would be all that popular if James Woods hadn't done Hades. So it's just really good that they actually had him also do in Kingdom Hearts as well. Because, again, he's just so hilarious. And I do like that whole appearance that also James Woods did in The Simpsons. If y'all remember, James Woods guest starred on The Simpsons in that one episode. Right? Where he was the... I'm pretty sure, if I actually recall, it was the episode that Homer was trying to help Apu to get his job back. Right? And James Woods had the... James Woods' character, which also was named James Woods, because the other characters in the show called him by James Woods. He was trying to doing a movie career, of course, and having to be a store worker, a grocery store worker, right? And then again at the end as well of him just saying that now I'm off to fight aliens in a faraway planet. Or some, I know it's had something like that he said, which was very funny. And again, when he was trying to get the cheese that was in the microwave as well, and he was just cursing as well. Well, of course it was bleeping, of course, when he was doing it, but he's like, "Oh, not you. I was just talking to my oven." As well. Just, I mean, of course, obviously you could hear Hades' voice when it came to that episode. Obviously, you were able to hear Hades' voice when James Woods was talking. He's definitely one of those actors that just has a very recognizable voice. Same thing when it comes to the guy who plays Ham, right? Who plays Ham on Toy Story. Like, you would see him in a lot of Disney movies, right? Disney Pixar movies. You would see a lot of those types of people those kind of actors in a lot of these movies. Again, just how iconic they are, how easy that it is to recognize on their voice. There you go. Hades defeated, and the second Olympus visit is completed. Man, we are just breezing through these. Yeah, we are just breezing through these. Again, without watching the cutscenes and stuff, it definitely has these visits go very, very fast. I can just definitely say that. Now it's Agrabah. The second visit with Agrabah. Let's see, I don't think... Let me just look at... Of course, here's 30 to 26, and then 29 to 26. Let's see. Yeah, I might put that there, and... I'll put that there. We'll do that. We'll do that. Just ignore the Heartless for now. I don't know why I went over this way. Yeah, I don't know why I went over that way. Sorry, Heartless. Just gonna have to go past you for now. I know you probably are gonna remind me. What did I say about the whole every Heartless counts? But really, whenever I just want to, really, right? I mean, obviously, there's going to be a lot of grinding, of course. Made grinding and stuff. So, yeah, there's going to be plenty of Heartless to go around. Most definitely. Most certainly. This section is quite interesting, I will say. Yeah, I'll just say, this whole section here is quite interesting. Quite interesting. And I feel like also you don't even have to complete all of Space Paranoids, like fighting the MCP and Sark to get to the end of, or the world that never was, I feel like. Because like I said before, I mentioned how you don't even have to do the whole last visit to Twilight Town to even get to the world that never was on this game. Like, you don't even have to do it. Which I'll even sew it. Of course, I'll still do the whole visit to Twilight Town, obviously. Right, obviously, but I will sew that you don't even have to do it. Just to sew. Just to sew. Jafar is heartless. Not heartless. Which I wouldn't be surprised if Jafar had a heartless. I mean, I'm quite surprised he doesn't. I mean, Scar had a heartless. Right? Scar had a heartless. Mother Gossel in the third game had a heartless. I guess you could say Hans had a heartless as well. Prince Hans on the Arendelle world. That whole wolf, giant wolf-like heartless. I guess you could say that was Hans's heartless. Just because the darkness that swallowed Donald and Goofy and Sora up, that took you to that whole arena, I guess you could say that was like Hans's heartless. I feel like trying to think if there's anybody else that had a heartless. I don't think so. I don't recall. I can't recall anybody else if they had a heartless. I know they tried to make Based into a heartless. I know that. right? They tried to get Zoldan tried to get bases, Nobody and Heartless, of course. But yeah, I can't really think of anybody else that really had like a Heartless. Not too sure. Dang it. Yeah, he... Wait for it. There we go. Oh, just wait for it. Dang it. Yeah, okay. I'm going to have to get rid of these guys first. I feel like you don't exactly have to just... You don't have to defeat the Heartless to do it, but... I mean, it just saves you. It just saves you from having to... From not getting hit and stuff. So... It really just saves you there. Definitely saves you there. There's really no need for a map. I'm just saying, there's really no need for a map in this section, in this area. I mean, you're only in here for just one cutscene. That's all. So, there's really no need to have a map in that ruin section. I'm just saying, there's really no need. I mean, yeah, there is, of course, a map there, but there's really no point for there to be a map there since... I mean, you can say that for a lot of areas, of course. You can definitely say that for a lot of areas. I don't really need a map. And yeah, there's totally a lot of different areas that you don't really need a map. That doesn't really need a map because of how small it is. Or you're not going to be in there, right? Like, you can't revisit that area and once you do it for the story purpose. Like that part we just did earlier. You can't even go back in there when you're just doing the level like normal. So there's really no point for maps like that. At least I'll just say there's no need for maps like that. Level 39. Of course, he's just gonna despawn. Man, they're just despawning though, I swear. I swear though. These guys just... And this guy's still with me, like, dang. See ya. Like, see ya. Alright, time to fight Jafar. Again, I swear, we just entered the second visit, and we're already at the end of the second visit. Like, dang, for real. I swear, just how fast that you go without watching the cutscenes and going through the different text boxes and stuff. These visits just really go very fast. And of course, when you know where you're going as well. Of course, that's the big thing. Yeah, we have Jafar here. Genie Jafar. What I like to do is, of course, do some comboing on him. And then wrap his tail around him. His genie tail around him to make him dizzy. And then do some more combos. Yeah, this is what I like to do. Just do some more combos like that. I like doing that. Go up here, do some combos, and then wrap his tail. And then, once again, do this. And now we're on the last bar here. And of course, he's going to take us to his desperation move as well. I mean, I don't know if it's actually possible to do this fight without the whole desperation move. I mean, like we've shown with Zaldin, it is possible doing how we did with Zaldin. Actually managed to defeat him without his desperation move. It is quite possible. It is quite possible here. Yeah. I didn't really need to use his tail again. I didn't really need to use his tail again, because, yeah, he was already getting low when it came to his health anyway. But there you go. That's the second visit of Agrabah completed. Again, we are just brazing through these, I swear. Just brazing through these. And see, there's the world that never was. And of course, there's the last visit to Twilight Town. We'll go ahead and do the last visit of the Pride Lands. The last visit of the Pride Lands. Exactly where we want it to be. Anything in here? Nope. Don't really need to use the Keyblade because, well, it's not as good. It's not as good as the one I have now. And of course we have Scar's ghost chasing after us. So yeah, I just run. That's what I do. I just make a quick escape. Now it's time to take down these hyenas. I didn't even get this chest. I had a feeling I probably did miss some chest, or a chest, and I actually did. I managed to somehow miss a chest there. I mean, hey, we all do that, though. We all tend to do that anyway, so it's all fine. It's all good. Alright, that's one taken down. This definitely shouldn't take us long. These blasted hyenas. I mean, they got their behinds whooped before, so why do they believe that they can manage to take Sora and them on again? Like, how would they think that they could be able to do that? Like, they got absolutely destroyed last time. Like, I'm just surprised that they're still trying to run. Like, yeah, y'all hyenas got defeated last time. Why are you trying to pick a fight when you know that you're not gonna win it because you got beaten last time. I mean, it kind of reminds me with Sly. It definitely kind of reminds me with Sly when he said to the Contessa, saying that we all know who would win a fight, who would win, so why don't you just hand me over the eye, right? And of course the Contessa is like, of course, like, you're right. Saying that you're right, they know who would win, but of course before she says of the using the whole eye, which I don't know if that would count as cheating, of course, right? Her cheating. The Contessa cheating. Just using the eye. Boom. There we go. Poor Simba. I just love how Goofy moves on here. Like, he just rolls into a cell. And the fact that Goofy has a cell. A cell. He has a cell on here and a cell in Atlantica. Like, just to think that. That's pretty funny how he has a cell on there and a cell on here. That's actually quite funny, I would say. Quite funny. Man, Sora can really do those, like, tight turns, like he's drifting. Like he drifts there. All right, let me see. Do we have what we need for this fight? Not really a whole lot, but I guess this will have to do. Alright, this whole Heartless. Alright, Simba. This Heartless is something else. Yeah, just from the design. It is something. I don't exactly know what it is supposed to be, but it's definitely something. All it says is Giant Heartless. That's all that we have to make it out for. It's just Giant Heartless. That's all we can do it with. It's just Giant Heartless. And then this thing on the top, like, what is it supposed to be? I don't get it. And of course, falling down too. Just falling down. I think if I remember, this fight was painful and critical. Yeah, I felt like this fight was so painful in critical mode. Like, Lord have mercy. Like, yeah, this fight was just pure torture in critical. And I'm sure it'd be a lot more painful in level 1. Oh, I would not want to imagine this in level 1. A lot of these fights in level 1, I just would not want to imagine. Like Zoldan, for example. I wouldn't want to know what Zoldan's fight would be like in level 1. Or Demyx. Right? I just wouldn't even imagine what it would be like at level 1. Would not be able to imagine. How's he still hurting me there? Yeah, that fire just... And of course it all depends on how many level, or what level you're on too. especially. It just depends on what level you are. That is the most important thing to any, like, boss and stuff. It always depends on what level you are. Of course, he didn't stay down, but is that going to... Not quite. Wow. Not quite. Maybe at least one more hit would have done it. One more at least, I feel, could have done it. Could have defeated it. There we go. Got the second visit to the Pride Lands fully completed, and we got the last upgrade to Thunder, to Thundaga. Like, man, just the amount of speed that we've done all of those, right? Just the amount of speed that we managed to do there. So, before we go to Hollow Bastion, like, look. Oh? But I know before, or maybe I have to do this first, because I could have swore I actually could access the land, the end, or the world that never was before even going to Twilight Town. I feel like, yeah, I feel like I managed to actually do that before. I could have swore. I know I did something like that before. Like, I didn't even do the last visit. You right? I didn't do the whole last visit in the Twilight, in Twilight Town before going to the world that never was. I know that. I didn't do the whole last visit to Twilight Town before going to where you would properly go to the world that never was. I have a feeling, at least, if I remember correctly, maybe I wasn't. You're not supposed to. I ain't supposed to do it like that. I just felt like I've done something like that before. Yeah, I just feel like I've done something like that beforehand. Maybe there's just making it up in my head. Like, yeah, I've done it before, but I just can't remember how exactly I did it. You know how stuff like that could, in your head, would do. Just make up something that you think that you did it. Think you did, but it wasn't, you never actually did it, or it wasn't actually possible. Sometimes that actually do that, and maybe that's actually one of the cases. Again, I still would want to try it out. Try it. When I get to that. Go and get this Keyblade. It's a pretty neat Keyblade, I would say. I mean, it's definitely a good Keyblade when it comes to, like, leveling up as well. Okay, here's a chest we didn't get. I wanted the skateboard. I wanted the skateboard. What, we're like Tony Hawk here? We're like Tony Hawk, just riding on a skateboard. Sora in a skateboarding game. A Kingdom Hearts skateboard game. That would be pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. That would be actually pretty funny. A Kingdom Hearts skateboard game. I mean, I never really done any skateboard games besides the whole skateboarding section and Spyro 3. And I guess you can say the whole skateboard parts on here. These are the only kind of skateboard type stuff that I have done, was the skateboards on here and the whole, skateboard mini games on challenges on Spyro. But besides that, I never really done any other, feel like I never really done any other skateboarding types, like games and stuff. At least if I can recall. Right, if I can recall at least. Give away, you heartless. These heartless as well. These heartless right here, I can definitely say that are annoying, right? Like, I can tell you, there's definitely plenty of annoying heartless in the series. Most definitely. There are certainly some very annoying heartless in the series that you can encounter. And, of course, when it comes to unverses and nobodies, like, there's definitely some pretty annoying ones. Just how they're able to do that is one thing too. And of course, I don't want to use my whole drive gauge either. I want to save it for a certain area coming up. You know, when we're on the solar sailor, the whole ship leading up to the MCP, at least, I would want to save it for. I think that would help a lot. I think it would help a good bit. Just gonna ignore you, you heartless. Don't mind me, just passing through. Yeah, this part right here. This is what I would want to save these limits for. Especially this part right here. As long as I don't, like, go into... Yup. That's exactly what I was gonna say. As long as I don't go into anti-form. As long as I don't go to anti-form, then we should be okay. But, nope. We go into anti-form. We exactly go into anti-form. Like, of course. Like, thank you. Thank you for letting us go into anti-form. That's exactly what we needed. Well, not necessarily. Right? Again, that is kind of some sarcasm. I would say. That is a little bit of sarcasm there. I didn't really want to go into anti-form. I mean, I wouldn't say I don't hate anti-form. Just, again, I'm always unclear when it comes to when you actually access it. I feel like there is a certain way to actually tell, but I always cannot remember. I can't remember anyway exactly if there is a way to actually tell. There's not really no part for me to know. But yeah, the MCP and Sark fight. Definitely some of my favorites. And again, why even have a map in this part either? Like, there's really no point having a map here. There's no point having a map there. Alright, Sark. Yeah, just throwing his disc at me. Just throwing his disc at me. Like, here, Sark. Try some of this programming. Try to see if we can program you. So we can program you. Again, pretty easy there. And then, of course, we have the real fight. Right? The real fight here. Like, Sark is just so huge, though. You just gotta appreciate, like, how huge that he is. Gigantic he is. I just really find funny how huge, how he just grows. Like, he just grows so huge there. Take that. Go ahead and heal, because I know I'm going to need it. Alright, Tron. Just the way that we're able to damage the MCP too is quite funny. The way that we're able to damage it is quite pretty funny. Yeah, be able to damage it some more. Managed to get another extra bit of hits there. Pretty good, I would say. Ah, yes. The good old classic reaction command with knocking Sark right in the head. Again, just absolutely incredible respiration, or not respiration, reaction command. Just so cool. Again, this whole fight is just really cool, though. Alright, just this whole fight is really cool. Got him on the last bar. I know he's going to get Sark back up. I have a feeling he's going to get Sark up. Oh, it's not going to be enough. Oh, no, it wasn't enough. I thought we could have done it. I thought we could have gotten it before he did that again. Okay, we got it, though. We got it. Boom! There we go. Sark didn't even have to get up after we knocked him down. Like, yeah, he was out. He was stunned very well. He was stunned pretty good there. There we go. Last visit, the Hollow Bastion done. Go through the gate here. Let's see. find which one I would want. At least I'll go ahead and open this gate, see if anything happens. Because again, I swear that I feel like, again, I just have a feeling that, yeah, there's a way to actually do the whole, go into the world that never was without even doing the whole last visit to Twilight Town. Like, just something in my head that, like, on saying of how I've done it before, done something like that before, but again, I'm just gonna have to say, because I feel like there is a way to actually do it, right? If you wanted to. Maybe it's just something I thought you would be able to do, and I just always thought that. And maybe you're not actually able to do something like that. That could actually be the case, though. That could, of course, be the case. 100%. That could 100% be the case. %100% be the case. But we'll just see. We'll just see. We'll just see exactly. Of course, I'm going to go ahead and do that whole visit to Twilight Town as well before we end this one. This stream here for tonight. Like, what is this energy thing here? It just looks like some kind of energy field. This blue circle thing, it just looks like some kind of energy field. Like, it really does. It really does look like one. And there's just so many enemies here. Like, goodness. Like, goodness me, there's just so many enemies there. Until those shields get put up. Like, Jesus. Just fly upwards. There we go. Alright, before we go into Twilight Town, let me just see if that whole thing I was talking about is true. If not, then maybe I was just been thinking that you were able to do it this whole time. Let me just see. Let me just look. Okay. So I guess I was just thinking that there was a way this whole time. I was thinking that there was just some way. But of course there's not. There's actually no actual way. Alright then. At least I can confirm it. Because I've always thought in my head. I always had a thought in my head. Like, I feel like there is a way that you could actually go to the world that never was without even going into Twilight Town, you know. But no, you do have to go to Twilight Town. I mean, either way, you are you, of course, going into Twilight Town, but you do know what I mean, though. Right, y'all do see what I'm saying, though. Y'all do see what I'm saying. Like, these nobodies, though. I mean, at least Mickey is here to help, too. Which I'm not sure if he has, like, any sort of health either. Like how Leon would, or any of the others one would. Unsure exactly. Unsure. And of course, we still got to do all of the 100 Acre Woods too before, or I want to do before doing like Zemnis. I mean, I can always go and do the whole 100 Acre Woods, but I especially want to get like Kiraga. But I'll save that, or we'll do that probably on the next one. Of course, we'll go like to the world that never was, but I won't do Zemnis just yet until I have gotten like I have done those. Done the 100 Acre Woods. Just make sure, Sora, make sure to don't abandon Poe and them like Christopher did. Just don't do like he did. Sea salt ice cream. Like liver ice cream? Ew. No. I really hope that is not an actual flavor, because that would be so disgusting. Like, that'd be truly disgusting if that was like an actual flavor. Like, ew. I don't know what sea salt ice cream would actually taste like, though. Sounds interesting. Definitely sounds quite interesting. Just the thought of sea salt ice cream. Salty but sweet. Right? Be salty but sweet at the same time. I'll be quite interested in what it would actually be like. Be quite interested to figure out what it would actually taste like. I'm sure it probably wouldn't be that bad to actually, like, that bad. I'm sure it probably wouldn't be that terrible. At least I wouldn't think. Sure, it wouldn't be all that bad. I mean, especially when considering that how Lei and Sion and Roxas and Isa and Isa, Pence, Hainer, and Alette eats it as well. And of course Ansem the Wise as well. Ansem the Wise eating the sea salt ice cream too. Yeah, it'd be pretty interesting. Pretty interesting, I feel. Of course, you already know also what we are going to do. Go ahead and do that. I'll go ahead and do a certain fight that I think a lot of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. We'll go ahead and do. Why not, right? Well, why not go ahead and do it? Go ahead and get Roxas, the whole fight with Roxas, out of the way. Go ahead and do the whole fight with Roxas. Which again, I'm so glad they made this and an actual boss fight in the final mix edition. Since again, in the original, there was no such thing in the original release on the PS2. There was actually no way to fight Roxas, and because again, he was only for a cutscene. It was just a cutscene. Oh, he was lucky there. I'll just go ahead and say that. He was lucky. Roxas, you were lucky there. I'll give you that. Right? Okay, not exactly how I had it in mind, in my head, to actually, yeah, not exactly what I had in mind with the whole limit form, but hey, I guess I'll take it. Right? I guess I will take it. Not exactly what I had in mind, but I'll take it though. I'll take it. But again, I just love this fight. Definitely one of my all-time favorites. And will always be one of my all-time favorites too. And moments. Be one of my all-time favorite moments. Wow, that was perfect. That was actually perfect. And I wanted to go ahead and do this fight also, just so I can get the Keyblade that we would need in order to get Final Form as well. Just so I can already have Final Form unlocked. Two become one. That's the Keyblade I wanted. The two become one Keyblade. That is the one that I wanted. Won't go to that one just yet. Or I want to go at least up to the one that to the area where Zigbar, right? to the point where you fight Zigbar. Not fighting Zigbar on here, but I want to get to that save point. Just so we'll have a bit of a ways that I can be able to level up Final Form until, you know, we would be doing more of this on the next one. Yeah, this area up here. The whole Zigbar bit. Let's see. I can sell that. Throw these in. Oh yeah. Also, might as well go back to Twilight Town. I didn't think about this until now. I didn't think about this. No. Yeah, I didn't think about this until now. But going to get the recipe. Going and getting the recipe for the Ultimate Weapon. There we go. The Ultimate recipe for the Ultimate Weapon for Sora. Might as well go ahead and get that too. Yeah, that'll conclude the stream. Hope you enjoyed. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure your phone gets turned on so you stay new. Like to know what I think. Till the next one.